All right, so I found this article, and I really wanted to go over it because I thought it was really funny and dumb, like most of the stuff that comes from The Guardian. By the way, we just read an article from them the other day saying how it should be a requirement for men to go see Little Women, which I got a real kick out of. That's been the big thing lately, how guys need to know, guys must go see Little Women. Even got so bad that an author of an article was giving men a pass to go see the movie. Don't worry, guys, I'm giving you a pass. It was really cringy and funny and stupid. Just like this article that gets angry because, well, there's not enough of the ladies directing movies, or that a movie doesn't add another 2 hours to the length of the film to flesh out another character when that's not even the point of the film. It's really dumb. It's like these are all armchair filmmakers, you know, all of these people in the media. I find it really hilarious. So she uses her article as a vehicle to take apart Marriage Story, which I want to point out here is a very loved film. I went over to Rotten Tomatoes, as you can see right here. You have a 95% score, fresh, and the audience score is 84%. That's really close. It's something you don't see very often, critics and the audience agreeing with each other. Checked out the reviews. People praised both Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. She gets a lot of lines people liked during the movie. Okay, so what's the problem here? Well, the problem is, well, you guessed it. It wasn't directed and written by a lady.
No shit.
So let's get into this a little bit and see what her issue is. It says, recently I seem to have developed a sort of allergic reaction to films. The symptoms are as follows. About an hour into watching almost any given movie, I find myself contorted with irritation and begin muttering like a mad person. But what about her? What does she have to say? After a lifetime of happily sitting through films directed almost exclusively by men, this allergic reaction seems to be telling me I need a more balanced cultural diet. So to start off right away, I don't know what she's talking about. There was a lot of films, particularly this year, that starred women. Last year as well. It's not like it's hard to find films made for women, but that doesn't matter. It's because they're not all made that way. You can seem to be okay with films that star women, but films that focus on men, those are now a problem. It's like everything needs to have this skew now. It's really strange. I don't understand it, but that seems to be where we're at. She continues on, admittedly, I have always been more of a book lover, but my husband is a cinema buff, and every so often, he'll try again at converting me. Okay, book lover. Nothing wrong with that, but I would like to point out that women read more books than men. She's obviously a big book lover, which I'm going to get to. So I just want to point that out. Obviously, since more women read than men, they probably skew the market towards them because they want them to read more books. It's the point that you go after your biggest market because that's where you're going to make the most amount of money. But anyway, continuing on. But my husband is a cinema buff, and every so often he'll try again at converting me. This one is critically acclaimed, he will say, tipped for an Oscar. I'm sure it'll be fine. Just give it a go. Most recently, we settled on Marriage Story, the almost universally praised film. I'd read a couple reviews which had assured me that this was an admirably balanced portrait of a disintegration of a relationship. Great, I love relationships. I love disintegration. Surely, this would be a safe bet. So you can see where this is going. Imagine how, what the argument must be for them to spend time together and watch a movie. the coaxing he has to do to get her to watch a movie. Oh, I did some research into this, my dear, and there are 4 to 5 female characters in it, and they surely have at least 20 to 25% of the dialogue in the film. I think that you would enjoy it, my dear. What kind of soulless marriage is that? Oh, I bet she does love disintegration in a relationship. She's living it. So, continuing on. But then it happened. There I was, after precisely an hour, tense in every muscle, shouting at the screen. Don't get me wrong, Marriage Story is a brilliant film. It's nuanced, it's real, the acting is excellent, and it has some interesting stuff to say about relationships and families, and how they can evolve during periods of intense, soul-battering conflict. But balanced? Pull the other one. In all kinds of subtle and not-so-subtle ways, Marriage Story only tells half the story. the husbands have. So there it is. So when she points out that she was sitting there screaming at the screen and stuff, it's because, Scarlett Johansson probably went off screen, and then you saw Adam Driver. So from what I've gathered about this film, this is based on a true story about a guy who went through a divorce. I think they're both actually in Hollywood. The wife that the movie is based on, if you've seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High, her name was Stacy in that film. She was the virgin chick. That's the female character in this movie. So naturally, the film's going to be told from someone's perspective. That's just how most films work. You can't, if you tell both sides, it really just doesn't work that well. But see, these people, they don't understand storytelling or creating. They only destroy. That's all they understand, is destruction. So naturally, they're going to go in and they're going to find faults of just about anything, and they're going to rip it to pieces. Because, that's just how they roll. So anyway, we see Nicole, the wife, refuse to take part in mediation. We see her appoint a female lawyer. We see her force the long-suffering Charlie to move to L.A. in order to maintain contact with his son. We are shown a divorce industry that is skewed towards Nicole's rights. It is mentioned very much in passing that this is in order to protect the many women whose husbands leave them and the kids and refuse to pay up. Of course, you got to make that man pay, because that's all they're good for, right, Alice? That's all they're good for. So she's mad because it shows the divorce is skewed towards the wife and the mother. That's absolutely correct. That's no secret. But how dare they show that? I mean, he had to move and pretty much lose just about everything during the end. Oh, no. Oh, no. So meanwhile, we never see and are told a minimal amount about the dynamics that drove Nicole to seek a divorce in the first place. The fact that Charlie also had an affair and that he insisted on staying in New York to further his career at her expense. In the publicity for the film, the director has made it clear that the story is partially based on his own divorce from the actor Jennifer Leah. He assured one interview that he showed the film to Leah prior to the release and that she likes it a lot. Perhaps that's true, but if so, I'd like to hear it from her. In fact, I'd like to watch a film about a disintegrating marriage written, produced, and directed by her. I have no doubt that it would be very different. Well, of course it would be different. What a stupid statement that is. Of course it'd be different. It would be told from her perspective. This film is told from his perspective. Now, I'm sure she's welcome to write one. Will it be as good as his? I mean, these scripts and ideas, they have to go through a committee of people. I just don't understand this. So basically, because the film didn't show both sides and it shows what a divorce does to a man, this is a disastrous film and it's a piece of garbage. And they should have obviously hired that woman to make this film. Duh. Then the rest of the article, she doesn't even really talk about Marriage Story. She goes on to talk about how in one movie that she watched, Mrs. Claus from some Christmas film was made to look attractive, and that most characters in films don't pass that Blanche test that is supposed to tell if the movie is feminist friendly or something. And then that most films don't have female writers or directors. You know, I don't think anyone has a problem with films that are revolved around women or female writers or directors. But what happened to merit, like breaking into the industry and getting there? Obviously it can happen. And I don't buy the whole sexism thing, because I can point to The Mandalorian, and a lot of people, so it was Deborah Chow, directed 2 episodes of that series, and everyone loved it. It's probably the best 2 episodes of the entire series, and she's going to be doing Obi-Wan. No one cares. In fact, after that, I think I'm personally looking forward to it more, because she did the best 2 chapters of the entire thing. But she goes on to talk about books and how books can thrive. Women can thrive in books, and how, books get women right and all this stuff. The book industry has a big reason to, and that's because most of the audience is female. But she's not going to mention that, probably because it, would throw off a lot of the things that she had to say. I just found this surprising because a lot of people were praising this Marriage Story movie. I almost wonder what the point of even including it was. She just wanted to talk about how much she hates cinema over books and how terrible it is that, the man was more involved. It's like, necessarily if they had fleshed her character out more, that doesn't mean it would have made it a better movie. There could be some director's cut of this film where she is fleshed out and it just didn't work. That is a possibility. I don't know, but people should have the right to produce their vision on how they want that film or video game or book to go. And if that's what they want to do, then, you live and die on that vision, and it'll either do good or it'll fail. But that's not good enough, Uncreative people, they're allowed to just go in and destroy everything. You're not allowed to create anything, which is the problem with Hollywood and a lot of Western media right now. There's no creativity anymore. There's none. And that's why the entertainment industry is falling apart. And a lot of it has to do with the people that write articles like this. They just destroy everything. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Leave me your comments and your likes. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about the things that she's talking about? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Remember, comments and likes really help videos in the algorithm, so please consider leaving some interaction. Also, please consider sharing the video. And make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that, and subscribe if you're new.